What is up, everybody? Welcome to Dapple Productions, hosting Battling Pool 212. It's such a high number. My name is Ed. I am joined tonight by Sortie, and we have Majora back as the streamer. Whilst we wait, they made a little bit of a mistake in the lobby and decided to put our streamer as the player. Sortie and Phase versus Myopsidus, by the way. I thought it was very funny. Majora is going to make his Battling Pool debut here.
That is, yeah, I was just looking at that. Sadly, of course, very quick game that we can't show you for
unfortunate
Dapple Production reasons. But I will confirm, definitely happened behind the scenes.
It definitely did. Come on, we haven't even been in one game, and someone already made a mistake like that. Come on. We haven't even been in one game. Anyway, well, Sortie and Phase 2 against Myopsidus, starting out on tower control, Undertow, Spillway. What do you think of this?
I think it's a pretty like middling kind of map mode. Like, it's not like, oh my god, this is my favorite map in the world with tower control. You know, it's not like this is the best thing ever, but it's not terrible, right? I think it's kind of
okay. I don't really like it.
Yeah, it's kind of alright.
I don't like it at all. I think Raymaker is pretty fun, but I don't like it at all.
It's such a like with the how the map like functions, it can be so tight in some areas, but then it feels like you can get sniped from many more places than you should be able to, and it just kind of, you can't, there's no real flanking, really. You're gonna get seen from everywhere.
I feel like it's trying to be Splatoon 2 Schellendorf, or Splatoon 1, it was like trying to be Schellendorf, but very bad.
But worse, because at least, like, if someone's, like, pushing on the... You know, you can push on the glass and on the floor, but no, you can just push on either side of the mid and then figure it out from there. But anyway, we will be getting into this first match in the set here, and can confirm our streamer is not on the roster.
Finally is actually doing the streaming. Anyway, starting Phase 2 in the yellow and Myopsidus into the purple. Let's see how it's gonna go. These are some interesting weapons here. Starting with the notches in the 96 deco on the side of Myopsidus. Always nice to see a 96 deco out there. Really appreciate those. Also, carbon deco on the side of Sortie and Phase 2. One of my favorite melee weapons actually play in this game, just because of how annoying it is, but it is very inconsistent. As we see Haze here trying to fight Star. It doesn't look like Star's gonna get a whole lot done as he's getting attacked by another player. Decides to run away as Sortie and Phase is taking the first checkpoint off the tower straight away. He doesn't even need a good special. The ink strikes were thrown out, but it doesn't do all too much here. Just a little bit of support.
Yep, yes indeed, and there we go, see a trade coming out there, and a Kraken chasing the tower, but it does not seem... Oh, I was about to say it does not seem that they find what they're looking for, but then two players go down to the Kraken or otherwise. It does seem like that first push is going to stop there for Sortie on Phase 2. So, it's going to have to... I'm going to get this, I'm definitely going to pronounce this wrong at some point, just saying this, but Myopsidus do need to get on the tower and get pushing, and it does seem like they're going to be able to do that, but how long are they going to be able to hold it?
Yeah, that's definitely the interesting question. He's using Crab Tank on the tower and using another special. Here come the ink strikes, and that's going to hurt Nom Nom out of the Crab Tank. He gets splattered there as well, but they got the checkpoint luckily, so they can move it a little bit further. But there are a couple players down, so they have to worry about the defense coming up from Sortie and Phase 2. They just lost their Largeless, and that's going to sting, because that is your one player that can really fight against the charge, and 96 has to get a very good spot, but the charge is going to make it super difficult. Weavem coming out, Garber Rotor pushing in, but fighting against the 96 gal, that's not the fight you want to pick, especially at range. It is marked as well, so I don't think they're going to do all too much here other than throwing a couple burst bombs on. Sortie and Phase back onto the tower, trying to get to that second checkpoint. With a Kraken here from Guggy, might save it, gets one spot in the tower before he gets out. Amazing stuff. Star, the car will touch the tower a little bit, but I don't think they're going to do much more here, as the tower has been neutralized and is going back to the middle. Strike coming out, but that's just gonna be a very neutral support thing for Sortie and Phase.
Yes, indeed. And at the moment, like, 57's an alright opening push, but it's not a winning one, right? You don't tend to see winning pushes of only, 57-ish on this kind of a map. So, definitely. Sortie on Phase cannot be comfortable with that. They want to get more of a push going. But Myopsidus are just trying to keep them from doing that before they can get their own push going.
Yeah, definitely. Though, like, it's very early in the game still, so 77, that's definitely still something to improve on 57 as well. And it looks like it is Myopsidus' turn to push. We see Gog getting harassed by Benji, the 10 attack. They have to get him out 2 against 1. Nom decides to help their teammate out. Gets a trade there. Gog couldn't say anything, unfortunately, but the lead has been swapped as Myopsidus is about to take the second chest point. They have done that, and they're going to push it further. Kraken coming out on the side, going against the Charger, forcing them out of the spot where the Charger goes into a very smart play to stand on the grades where the Kraken cannot go. He's still on the tower fighting against Benji. Nom going to help his teammate, gets the splat on Benji. We do see Grogger getting splatted on the top though, but his third checkpoint is taken out, and now it's just a push towards the checkpoint. Can they do it? They try to set on the tower with a wipeout. It's going to prevent a knockout, but Sortie and Phase 2 has to push all the way to 4 now to get that lead, which essentially is just knocking out at this point.
Yep, yes, indeed. They only have a minute 20 to do it, plus overtime if they get it. So the pressure really is on here. They need to make sure that they get that push going, and they do currently have the person advantage. They can certainly start doing that, but they're going to need to be careful.
Definitely are. They still have to take a second and a third checkpoint and then even push it all the way to the final part. They have about a minute left to do that, and that sounds like a lot of time, but it really isn't. We do see Necro getting fought on. A couple players also get splattered from Sortie and Phase 2. It's 2 players down against 1 from Myopsidus, but those 2 players are going to hurt a lot because that was the carbon rotor and it was the machine, so it's going to sting a lot. Usually the tower still being in a very decent position for Sortie and Phase 2 to start a push, but just actually have to finish it somehow. 30 seconds left on the clock, and Myopsidus is throwing in a very strong defense here.
They're really not giving Sortie on Phase any space to move here. They cannot really get to that second checkpoint that they need to break through, and they need to break through it soon. But it does seem like they're gonna be able to start working their way through it now. But for how long? You can see that there's some players waiting to drop onto the tower, and with this Kraken, that'll certainly make it easier to keep out of their hands. So well done, though. That was a very kind of concerted effort at the end there to make sure that they could not keep pushing.
Yeah, definitely. Myopsidus is the team doing a very strong work. You know, I think the end when Kraken on the tower, it took a lot longer to claim the tower actually than it looked like it, but that's probably because someone was still in the tower. Definitely a GG Kraken here from Azzy, but Myopsidus with just one very strong push. I guess in the beginning one that was okay, then one very strong push to just secure that game, not even giving Sortie and Phase a proper chance. I mean, the push was past the second checkpoint, so gonna be a lot of work for Sortie and Phase 2 to get back on their feet and start winning. But maybe tower control isn't just their game, and to be fair, it wasn't one-sided at all. So we're going to see what the next game will bring, which will be Splat Zones on, if I pronounce it right, Umai Ruins.
Yeah, Umami is an interesting one. Isn't it split? The Splat Zones there's 2, or is it the whole middle? I always forget which one's the split ones. I never remember. But yeah, it's certainly either 2 split ones or like around that middle area. Can you remember?
Yeah, I haven't played a whole of my runes actually, so I still have to get all my strats on point. But it's a split zone, and split zones I think split zones are the best, just because you have 2 areas to defend. It's a hell for pushing because especially this one, it's like 1 inch rack sort of, and it's neutralized. So it makes it a little difficult to push, but once you're holding it, you can do some work. And we saw games earlier where just a tent umbrella can push into the enemy spawn and just wreak havoc, just because of how annoying it is to kill. You can't really flank around it all too much outside of the base spawn. They're decent flanks on this map, but they're not all amazing. So we're gonna have to see what these teams are gonna bring, because Sortie and Phase 2, they have to win this game. It's still group stage, so they have a lot more chances, but they kind of want to win this game because, well, they want to support their fans on Twitch. Remember that someone put 1,000 or 10,000 points on Myopsidus, and I'm very sure that whoever wins it in whoever voted for Sortie Phase really wants Myopsidus to lose so they can get a lot of channel points in.
Yep, yes, indeed. But as we have seen in some past Dapple Productions, said person who puts down a lot of points has a bit of a streak going on. So,
yeah, that's
who
true.
knows?
That's true. I heard from Girls Duo Cup that a certain individual has a lot of channel points now.
A lot.
They
A lot of them were
have
genies.
Poor Genie. Such a funny story. Anyway, the players are readying up. I'm very interested in what we're going to see because we haven't seen like crazy meta comps here. It was what both teams had a Splash Medic and a Ten Attack, and those were the only weapons they shared. So hopefully we're going to continue to see the trend because I love not seeing meta weapons.
Absolutely. As some people will know, I'm very much about the having a balanced crab, or the crab quota, as we say. But I was so interested in that game that I didn't even really think about it. I will have to check this next game to see what we're actually getting. But I think it was, a crab on each side? Which is not the crab quota. The crab quota is 4 crabs. But that is... We're trying to get away from that meta. But we're still in it. Nintendo.
No, they're never going to fix it. But I think...
No, they're not.
I think we're at the point where we kind of accepted it. And to be fair, I will keep saying this. Crab meta is not as bad as the missile meta, and it will never be. Because the crab actually takes skill to properly operate, where the missile is just Anyway, game number 2. See a oh wow, actually some very funny weapons coming out. A ballpoint coming out from Sortie in Phase 2. And duty squelchies! Wow!
Okay.
I also love the Spatana and the Tetras coming out for Myopsidus, so very interesting weapons here. We still see a crab tank coming out from Star, but that's that's nothing special. You can have, or from P, I'm sorry. That's nothing special. You can have one. Also, Sortie Phase 2, starting it off strong with a full fat wipeout within the first 15 seconds. Crazy stuff coming out for them. Really excited. We're gonna change it up a little bit. Patana getting a splat onto the Carmorder Star, but falling down and getting horrendously splatted, making a 3v3 scenario, but the million is taken out. Kraken going in from Gongi, trying to take her out of the spawn. They have to get something done here because they're stuck as hell in there. But it doesn't look like Kraken can get a splat in, and that's gonna sting a whole lot as they lost the Tetra to their Myopsidus. They are trying their best to get to the spawn, but they're not really doing it in a proper way.
Yep, yes indeed. And already the Sortie on Phase 2 is already below 50 there. No, this is, yep, there we go. That will be a lot of penalty points on there. And as you can see, Myopsidus, I will continually get this right. Myopsidus has been rightfully pushed forward and is able to get Sortie on Phase 2 into their base. What is this? What is this game?
It's called My Ruins, and it is spawn camping, but you can somehow get out. Also, those rain actually hurt the players a lot, because Thor here is a Thor turret. I won't say Thor, but I don't speak special characters. Thor is going in now. His Myopsidus start to camp into the spawn, and they're holding it out longer than Sortie in Phase 2, because that's the lead. Groggy goes for a sneaky kill, but gets thrown off the map, and that's gonna sting because now there are 2 players down, meaning that Sortie in Phase can just go in benchings. It's just chilling there with their dualies, just getting the ink back because they know they can neutralize the zone. Though I think waiting extra time wasn't all too strong because now they have a lot more points they have to push through. I think they could have stopped at like 25, but hey, it's okay. Yeah. Sortie Phase 2 now captured the zone, and it's now their turn to spawn camp. Unless Myopsidus is actually defending their spawn properly, what it looks like they are now.
At the moment, 1 down on each side, which means it's pretty even on there. And there goes in that Kraken to try and cause some chaos. Oh my goodness! Every time we see that Kraken come out from Goggy, it is an interesting time. Oh my goodness!
It definitely is. You just hear the Kraken coming out. And he's like, "Here's Goggy," and then he just splats everyone. Literally, is what's happening right now. Goggy is doing crazy amount of work. I would say Thor is also doing a lot of work. Thor and Goggy are definitely the MVPs for Myopsidus. Myopsidus doing crazy work here. Necru trying to get up and getting splatted, unfortunately, whilst they were charging their jump. That's gonna hurt because then after you respawn, it takes a lot longer. than just jumping out of the spawn. Also lost his special. Grab Tank coming out for Sortie Phase 2, trying to get something done on its own. They have a little bit of extra time before the penalty runs out, and they definitely want to try to do that before the penalty runs out, because then they even have to push against even more points, which is definitely not what they want, because they already had a very hard game earlier. Now they have to about to get a hard game again. The zone is utilized right before the penalty ends, but a hammer quickly says no to that, and get some more points with it as well. It's not going to look good for Sortie and Phase, who's still not in control of the zone. This crack is going to get a very, very naughty split here.
This is looking like Sortie and Phase Sortie and Phase is not going to have time. Oh my goodness.
That's a big
What a
10k
game.
points. That's a very sad moment for Sortie in Phase 2, who I wanna say got absolutely destroyed, but they had a very hard time.
They did. They
Say it
truly did. They did have a very good first push, but then every time they were able to get back out again, guess who's waiting for them? Goggy with the Kraken, just swooping in. Every time we saw Goggy in a Kraken, there was a kill. There was one time they died, but still a kill, right? Every time.
Yeah, I also just want to say that the Charger or the Spelling Tort as well. Every time Groggy missed someone, Tort would just be there and clean up the mess. It was just those two
Causing
wreaking
chaos.
havoc. Though I want to say, Goggy got a little bit greedy because of my rules. They definitely charged on a grade and followed through it. Like, that was really, that was really funny.
Yeah, to be fair, absolutely love the content, right? Unfortunate for them at that moment, but absolutely love the content, 100%. That was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he got 2 players with it as well. And then they saw him struggling, like, no, I have more to do. Though, I don't think Myopsidus played that amazing, because, remember, first 5 seconds, they got wiped.
Absolutely.
Straight up got wiped. It wasn't even a chance. They didn't even get a single pick. It just gone. Straight up gone. So I think Myopsidus was also a little bit too greedy in that one, but that's fine. It's okay. Sometimes you can be a little bit greedy.